But the next year, I also got a call from him saying that they had aired the documentary with the demonstration tape, and there was such an interest. They kept playing it again and again. People kept calling in, wanting to know more about reincarnation, wanting to know about hypnosis, about past life regression. And the interest was so strong that now those same doctors that I was having the discussion with, and they were arguing with me about this, now they are teaching past life regression in that country. So I said, maybe I was responsible for bringing a whole new way of thinking into a country. I don't know. But here again, if I had been afraid to go, people were warning me not to go. If I'd been afraid to go, none of this would have happened. You never know the part you have to play, the little part, your little cog in a machine. Just by being in some certain place at a certain time, by doing or saying one little thing, you never know the effect it will have on those around you. You never know what. Sometimes you never know. I would never have known. A lot of the things that have happened, I don't know how it's affected people until they write me. So by being afraid and not willing to take a chance and go to these unusual places, my life would have been totally different. The knowledge would not have gone out. It wouldn't have touched so many people. So it's really amazing when I look back on it, people trying to keep me from going to these places, and look at what happened in these places. In May, it was my first trip to Moscow, and I've always wanted to see the Red Square. I got to see that because our publisher had a driver that took us everywhere we wanted to go. He had a translator who was also like a guide, and he took us all over the city, pointing out everything and telling us all about it. They treated me like royalty. I didn't spend a cent the whole time I was in Kiev, in Ukraine, and also in Moscow, because my Russian publisher has his headquarters in Kiev, and the branch is in Moscow. And they treated me like royalty. But when I got to Moscow, I kept thinking of all the stories we've heard down through the years about how poor they are over there, how they can't afford the things we have in America. They didn't have refrigerators. They don't have washing machines. You go into the stores. There's no food in the stores. There's no goods to be bought in the stores. This is what we've been told for so many years. This is what I was expecting to find. A gray, dark place of unhappy people where there wasn't anything. We didn't have the benefits we have in this part of the world, because that is what we've been told, that they were jealous of us because we had all of these wonderful things and they had nothing. So imagine my surprise when I find none of that was true. Now, maybe it might have been true 5-10 years ago, but it definitely is not true now. I found a thriving, alive city. Kiev was the same way. There's construction going on everywhere because the people in Kiev and also in Moscow, the majority of the people live in huge apartment houses. They don't have private homes. And so they're building more and more of these for the population. Of course, they said the rent now in some of these newer ones are going to be hard for some of them to afford. But I found Moscow, first thing I noticed, I've always heard about how they didn't have cars, it was hard to get cars, and that I heard they had to take the windshield wipers off their cars and things like that. Everything was hard to get. As I said, maybe that's what it was 5-10 years ago, but that's not what I found. When we first hit Moscow, the traffic jams everywhere, new cars, people driving everywhere, huge billboards, just, advertising all of the modern products we have here in the States. I didn't see anybody that needed things or wanted things. not like we had been told. And I went into one mall that was just like the malls here in the United States. Same brands, the same stores. You would have thought you'd been transplanted from the United States, except for the letters on the signs. It was just like being back here. And the hotel I stayed in Moscow was called the Cosmos Hotel. It's one of the biggest in the world. It was pure luxury. As I said, I didn't have to pay for anything the whole time I was there. I gave lectures, and they are now going to print some more of my books are being translated into Russian. So when I go back in March, I'll be speaking there again. This time they're going to do a full-fledged publicity campaign, and I'll probably be speaking other places in those countries. And I believe I said before that while I was there, I had a surprise summons, I guess you would say, on the last day I was there. This woman came in and she said, "You've got to take this call. This is a very important man here in Moscow, and he wants to meet with you. And he's a doctor. He has an organization over there." So I said the only time I could meet with him was after I finished my lectures, and they was going to send a car around to bring me over to his center. And when I got there, he began telling me about this very ambitious plan they have. He is very much involved in alternative healing and natural medicine, and there was a psychiatrist in the office also, and they are both pushing with this plan. And their center is, I believe it's called the Russian Center with Folk Medicine. But they are trying to organize healers and alternative medicine, people involved in any kind of herbal or anything dealing with natural medicine. They're trying to organize these all over the world. He said it's like Doctors Without Borders, but they're calling it Healers Without Borders. And they want to find as many as they can and organize them all over the world to help the people of the world and to get back to the natural medicines, the alternative, the energy workers, the healers, the anything. And he wanted me to help in the United States. And I don't have all the instructions yet. When I go back, I'll probably get more. But he said he wanted me to help organize the healers over here so they could be a part of this organization. And in my work as a therapist, I have many clients that come to me who are energy workers. They are naturopaths, homeopaths, Reiki workers, healers, crystal healers, of herbal, of every kind you can think of, I've come across. And when I've mentioned this organization, they've told me they want to be a part of this. It's as though it's an underground, an undercurrent that is happening all over the world. People think we're in the minority, but we're really not. It's just not come to the surface yet. Just underneath the surface. And it's getting ready to come up to where people will see how big this really is with the natural healing, the alternative. The doctor told me, he said the statistics of the year 2000 in the United States showed that 45% of the people in the United States believed and practiced alternative healing and went to alternative practitioners and like naturopaths, homeopaths, etc. And I said, 45%? I said, they don't tell us that in the States. They don't tell us that many people here who are really into this. Well, he said those were the 2000 statistics. That's what they said. So there's a whole lot more to this, and there's a lot more going on with the metaphysics and the beliefs that I think we're going to see a big resurgence in this. And Don said, with the response to these radio shows, I think we're also seeing there's a lot more people interested out there. I hope a lot of you have gotten to see the movie What the Bleep, because that movie has really turned things around. You know, it took America by storm, and it has changing people's belief systems. It's getting them to ask questions, making them think. And when I was in Dubai, after I gave my class, I was teaching my method over there. I teach it all over the world, my unique method of hypnosis. And we were, after the talks, my class, we went to this person's house to have something to eat, and they said they were going to show What the Bleep. And so the people there got to see it for the first time. So that movie is also going all over the world. So I see it happening, and I think it's very important that we are a part of something. This is a wonderful time to be alive right now, as we're a part of all of these things that are happening right now. This is very wonderful. And I didn't know I was going to do this entire show on the trips, but I've been so many places. But next week, I'm going to start with the information in some of my books. I'll figure out one of the books to talk about, and hope that you'll be interested and you can call in and ask questions. But I want to give out my 800 number and my website so that people can check in if they want to know more about my books. You're already connected with Blog and Service, and they have a direct link over to my website. But my website is Ozark Mountain Publishing is the name of my company, and I've abbreviated that on my website. It's OZARKMT.com. Or for those overseas, it's called OZARKMT. I mean, it's OZARKMT.com. Ozark Mountain, and that is the name of my website. My 800 number here, if you want to call and talk about the books or anything, is 1-800-935-0045. 1-800-935-0045. Contact the website or the phone number if you're interested in private sessions, which I do in my office here in Arkansas, or if you're interested in my lectures or workshops, or if you're interested in attending any of my hypnosis classes. Any of these things, you can contact the website or the 800 number and get information about them. Right, and I appreciate you listening tonight then. Good night.
You have been listening to BBS Radio, a blogandservice.com production and a service to others endeavor. Thank you very much for tuning in to our radio program, and we wish you much peace and joy on your journey.